Hello, I'm back. And I just got home a little while ago from watching friggin' RoboCop. The new RoboCop. And this is my review. I'll do the pros and the cons, a general overview, and then save the spoilers for the end. So if you haven't seen it yet and you want to see it, don't watch the spoiler section. It'll be clearly marked, so no one's gonna be like, oh, you didn't tell us you were gonna do spoilers. It'll be clearly marked. And if you see it, it's your fault, because I clearly marked it. Okay, let's get this show on the road. Okay, now for the cons. This movie is sadly, and I don't think this is the director's fault. This is the studio's fault. This movie is rated PG-13. This movie could have been so much better, and the violence in it would have been so much better if it had been rated R. Rated R, Sam Jackson could have been cursing out loud. There could have been more sex and violence. It would have been a better movie if it had been rated R. And normally I don't say that, but like Star Wars, if it was rated R, would like go too far in some ways. Like PG-13 for Star Wars is perfect, but for a film like RoboCop, you need rated R. You need ass and titties. You need people getting shot. You need graphic violence. You need to see a dude's arm just shot off. You need these types of things, okay? And we don't have that. So we don't have the PG-13. There is a heavy reliance in this movie on CGI, which CGI has come a long way. But the thing is like, even when you see really good CGI, your head is saying this is fake. These graphics are great, but it's fake. When you use CGI sparingly, you can trick people. Like, Jurassic Park had, at the time, cutting-edge CGI. Now it's old tech. But Jurassic Park holds up CGI-wise because CGI was used sparingly. Okay? And when it was used for spectacle. This movie uses a lot of CGI, and it's just very... The CGI is just very, very... It's used too much, okay? It's used way too damn much. I know a lot of directors don't want to go with practical special effects because in short term they're more expensive, there's more of an investment. But long term, practical special effects look so much better, okay? It's the reason why a lot of movies from the 80s still hold up, is because they had practical special effects. And the shit looks great. Like, it still looks really good. Like, it looks just so much better than CGI. It ages better. Practical special effects, when done right, age much better than, modern stuff. For example, look at Saw. Everyone's like, I love Saw. Me personally, I didn't like Saw. Show me a good Friday the 13th picture, and I love that shit. Dude getting an arrow stuck through his neck from the back, and it sticks out, and he's thrown through the window. I love that. Well, I don't love it, but it has more visceral impact for me than Saw or, any of those other torture porn films that are out now. Death, the movie where the kids escape death, and then like a horrific accident happens and they're supposed to die, but they escape death, and then like all this weird shit happens just to kill them off, so it balances out. Like, practical special effects really, are so much better, and the rated R would have helped go through that, because blood squibs, awesome. I really wanted to see a rapist get shot in the dick in this movie, okay? Much like in the original Paul Verhoeven RoboCop movie. But, alas, okay? So in conclusion, the cons are, it's not rated R, so they can't really give you the type of impact that you would have been able to get from a rated R rating. The other pro is that it uses a little too much CGI. and that kind of waters down the overall impact of the special effects a little bit, in my opinion. Which leads to the overview. Okay then, and here we go. Let's get into the pros. This movie, as I said in the title, has more in common with the past Paul Verhoeven RoboCop from 1989 than you might think. But that's not actually a bad thing. This movie wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. Because I had low expectations, it went above those. So, it's not a bad movie. Jose Padilla really tries to make a film that is, has nods to the past franchise, to the past movie, to the Paul Verhoeven seminal RoboCop, but at the same time is its own thing. Both movies have this in common. They both were trying to tell a message. The original RoboCop was about corporate greed and like doing anything for the almighty dollar. This RoboCop movie has corporate greed in it, yeah, but it talks about the different security, the constant struggle between freedoms and security. How we give up certain freedoms in order for increased security, and how do we strike that balance between those two things. So pros, yeah. The actors that they've got to play the various characters, not the worst people. They have a kid in there. The kid's not in there too long, so he doesn't upstage the main characters. And Lewis went from being a woman in the past movies to a man played by the guy who played Omar in friggin' The Wire. So, hey, anytime you got Omar in a film, that helps. Sam Jackson plays a wonderful role as a slimy ass host of a TV show that's, you can tell it's bought and paid for by private interests. So, I mean, it's a pretty good. It's a pretty good little film. Those are the pros. Oh, I forgot the last pro. The movie is very, the action scenes are relatively well done. They are very cathartic. The psychological parts of it really hit you. As far as a Paul Verhoeven of a remake of a Paul Verhoeven movie, this movie is head and shoulders above Total Recall, because Total Recall was a piece of shit. This movie, not bad. Which leads to the cons, which there aren't as many as you might think. So here's the cut. Okay, we're into the spoiler section, and, I'm just going to get into it. This movie, I originally thought that the colors were going to suck. By the end of the movie, they redeemed themselves. The movie has all the stuff we wanted. Hot robot-on-robot action. RoboCop fights multiple Ed 209s, gets his ass handed to him by them. He doesn't get to foil them by going down a flight of steps, which kind of sucks. But, I mean, hey, what the hell are you going to do? They play up the action. They play up the action a whole lot more. They play up the family dynamic a whole lot more. Because in the original movie, like, Murphy is declared dead and his family is forced to move on. And in the beginning of the second movie, he realizes that he's never going to be able to be there for his family. So he just lets him go. This movie, he actually fights more to maintain his family, to keep things together. So by the end of the movie, for fans of the original RoboCop, he goes back into his silver suit because, come on, man, it's not RoboCop if he doesn't have the silver suit. Come on, man. Because, it's Alex Murphy. I think there's going to be a sequel to this movie. I can't wait to see where it's going to go. I'm probably going to watch it. I originally thought February was going to be a terrible time to release this movie, but I think since there's no real competition, from anyone else. I think this movie can do pretty well for the next month or so. So yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Okay, here's the overview. This film is fun. It gives various nods to the 1989 Paul Verhoeven RoboCop without basically shitting all over it like people thought it was going to. It's not a terrible movie. It's not like earth-shattering. Basically, I think that they're going to make a sequel to it, and I think if they make the sequel rated R, it'll be better. It's right. This movie needs to be rated R in its next iteration. It needs a hard R rating. I'm talking titties, I'm talking drugs, I'm talking people getting shot with blood squibs, people's heads getting exploded from bullets. We need violence in a RoboCop movie, okay? Over the top violence, okay? We need that. If we don't have that, it's not going to be good, okay? RoboCop needs violence. So yes, I think this movie wasn't as bad as I thought. Definitely could do with a sequel, rated R. Maybe some more practical special effects, because they're awesome, in my opinion. You can take it or leave it. So yeah, there we go. So, after the overview is the spoiler section. If you have not seen this film and you plan on watching it, do not watch the spoiler section. I repeat, if you plan on watching this film and you did not and you don't want it spoiled, don't watch the spoiler section. Okay.